Hello, my name is Gabriel, and today I'll be presenting my video narrative of the second urban assemblage for Alexandra Canal and Shears Creek. As mentioned last presentation, with the map of comparison from pre-European invasion and existing environmental conditions, Shears Creek was 1/10 of the length of what is now a canal, with it being a dividing edge being clans country surrounded by lush native foliage, hosting language groups of the Gadigal, the Howl, and the Rug. But the site used to be only the Cooks River and Shears Creek. So I asked myself again, how was Shears Creek transformed into Alexandra Canal? And why is my first impression of the site is industrial in, people out? Who are exactly these people, and when did it occur for its changes? Let's begin answering these questions with its demographic and development. Ever since the Europeans invaded Sydney, countless plans had been proposed on divisions for setting up land properties and constructions, new suburbs, towns, and residential areas. Shears Creek was one of the victims of their development goals. Vacant space has been laid out with roads, and adjacent spaces had names changed over the period. Alexandra is one of the remaining names, and so when the creek was changed, both its name and its spirit. Human self-indulgence in urban development, building bridges, dismantling them, constructing bigger ones, factories move in and out, extending the creek, widening it, dumping waste into it. The creek had been changed since the 1890s, the same period when Sydney's version of the Industrial Revolution began, and it's been renamed Alexandra Canal. The creek means an asset to the Europeans, a tool for their fortune. While it is country to the custodians, it is their way of life with nature for thousands of years, balanced and harmonized. Yet the workers at that time didn't have a hint of care, other than the confusion as to which clans live in which country, with conflicting land-owning concepts on the early days, unclear records. It had now been occupied with rows of warehouses. The creek had been dredged and channelized for transporting goods and using waters as their production process. For example, in the brick pit in St. Peter's and chemical manufacturing in Alexandra. Workers and their families moved closer to these suburbs for occupation. Population around these areas also began to grow. Now for this, I'll focus down into two micro parts of my site for analysis and visits. One at the claimed current location for Shears Creek and the pre-European tip of the creek. Starting with the original creek, following the yellow dots of my visiting route. The experience and senses of the trip can be summarized as car-dependent, treacherous, pungent smell, crashed, and emotionless. The image shot of the bridge, taken at the bottom of a rickety street, has the same structures, walls, and environment from the 30s to this very day, with little change other than more trash being clumped up along the edge. Residents are also moved away from this area due to the surrounding new development of the airport, leading to unfavorable living conditions. Now becoming a space purely for industrial use. And that has been settled with my sketches, noting the exact locations of where these sensors are triggered, and also previous analytic maps, exhibiting its large areas of gray infrastructures and poor accessibility. Next is my second visit to the current location of the creek. And with honesty, it is far from the good nature of a creek, but rather an extension of the canal. The experience is human-centered, inaccessible, pungent smells, isolated, and outdated, with the same canal brick walls remain untouched since the early 90s. The environment pattern is still the same, with only more intimate views across the canal and more warning signage of restricted no disturbance to the toxic stubblins sitting at the bottom of the canal. My visit path ends suddenly next to the back entries to the industrial blocks, with these mesh fences along the way. Although it is now an outlet for stormwater, the issue with toxic bed sediments and pollution still exists. The only hope for improvement will be the continued effort for the Cooks River Alliance, which aims to create an investigation report soon and hopefully a solution for the future. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you.